guys, how you doing? It's Jack, aka Zombie Contingency. This video is in response to TerrorKlowns and his review of Walking Dead. And well, I'm going to talk about the same thing about Walking Dead. First of all, let me say I agree with TerrorKlowns in that it was a good episode. I'm going to give you a couple of spoilers here, including some of the comics, so if you don't want to know, just like the video and then stop watching. But remember to like it and tell all your friends about us. Okay. So like I said, good episode. You know, I really liked it. I like that we're finally getting into some other characters, and you know, I like the transformation Rick made in the episode. How he's kind of shoot first, ask questions later now. But Walking Dead needed a great episode. That episode wasn't worth waiting 2 months for, or 2.5 months, however long it's been. Why they split the season up in half. You know, I guess they're trying to keep the October premiere, and I can't blame them for that. And yeah, you know, December and early January is like the worst slot you could ever put a show. But you're really pissing off your fans. Walking Dead, you really are. Now, I'm trying to like the show. Like, I find myself... Hey, wife. Come on, that's alright. Come here. Come on in. The wife just walked in on the vlog. Show us the baby bump. Here, I'll perform my husbandly duties and open the sauce. You're embarrassing me here. I did it. I am all that is man. Carry on.
Okay.
Okay, so now that we're done establishing how awesome I am and humble, where was I? Yes, Walking Dead needed an awesome episode. They needed a great episode. There's shows like Game of Thrones, True Blood, even Falling Skies. These are great shows, and they're kicking Walking Dead's butt. I mean, Walking Dead is starting off with a great storyline, a zombie apocalypse. Nothing's ever been on TV like it, you know, other than movies and everything. So they started out with a lead, and they're just blowing it. I mean, Falling Skies, the aliens invade. Yeah, we've had V, we've had all these other ones. But if you ask me, Falling Skies is a more exciting series. Game of Thrones, head over heels better. I mean, Game of Thrones is just blowing me away. I can't wait for Game of Thrones. True Blood, yeah, you know, the vampires and the teeny boppers are getting a little old, but True Blood has some good characters and, you know, good plot twists. So, Walking Dead is due. You know, Dave Navarro was on Talking Dead last night, and I thought he did an excellent job. You know, the one time he sarcastically was talking about Herschel's daughter, like, oh great, you know it'd be awesome if we had another character bedridden for like a whole season. You know, like something's got to happen. I can't have the token zombie in every episode. I need a horde. I need a crowd. You know, some of the episodes in the past were good, but you know what? Those are the expensive episodes to make, and I know money is playing a factor in this, and it's killing me. Hey, MC, you have the best show on TV if you just let it be the best show on TV. But you're shaving points. I mean, 7 episodes on the farm looking for Sophia? That could have been done in 2.5 episodes. They found Sophia in the barn. Great ending. Great conclusion. You know, finding Sophia in the barn. And I really like how the characters are kind of proving themselves right and wrong at the same time. At the end of the first half of the season, right? I mean, did we prove Shane right or did we prove Herschel right? Because, you know, yeah, you got to deal with the walkers. You know, you got to put one in their head. And then, you know, but then they saw Sophia. And Shane couldn't shoot Sophia because he looked at her like family, kind of like Herschel was looking at his family who were walkers. He was still looking at them as people. Just like Daryl and T-Dog and Andrea, none of them could shoot zombie Sophia because they looked at her like the little girl. So maybe Herschel was right. And then at the same time, Rick steps up and does what needs to be done, puts one in Sophia's head. So Rick, who was arguing with Shane all along, kind of proved Shane right when he stepped up and did what had to be done. So I like that dynamic and that contradiction that's going on there, and that's about all I like as far as the character development's going. And now we're working on 2 seasons of character development, and these are not very good characters. I mean, you take away Shane, take away Daryl, and what do you have? You got a bunch of boring people surviving. If I wanted that, I'd be watching Survivor Man, because at least Les Stroud plays the harmonica, you know, and has a little bit of a Canadian accent. At least I can, you know, be mildly amused when he says, "What are you talking about?" T-Dog is killing me. Dale, all Dale does is look real disbelieving like, and that's pretty much all his character does is move his eyebrows from time to time. Andrea is finally doing something mildly amusing, but oh my god, I couldn't wait for her to die at the end of the first season. Lori, don't even get me started on it. You know what? The sooner she dies, the better. There we go. Carol, unless she turns into this like childless mother, gung-ho, you know, kick-ass kind of lady, Carol needs to go too. Herschel, and I don't know about Herschel. Herschel's kids, maybe we can redeem them yet. You know, they're like 2 line per episode characters right now. Maybe we can do something good. Now here's where I think Walking Dead can go really well. All right, are you listening? Please do this. All right. And here's another spoiler with the comics. We know the governor is coming up. The governor, if you haven't read the comics, the governor leads a band of, I guess you'll say outlaws, even though there's no law in this world. They're bandits, they're marauders. They kill and they take what they need. You know, very much Mad Max. You know, just walk away, that kind of guy. And I think these were the governor's men that we saw. That they killed him. You have to have Merle is one of the governor's mercenaries. If you don't have that, you have blown an opportunity, AMC. Why? Because Daryl is just starting to figure out that he's not a worthless POS, all right? And that's why he's so pissed in this last episode, because Sophia, he wasn't trying to save Sophia. Saving Sophia would have been redeeming himself. It would have shown him that he can do good, that he's useful to the group, that he's a good person. He needed Sophia for himself. So now he's looking to lash out. He's accepting the fact that, okay, I guess I just am a scumbag. And then when Merle re-enters the picture as one of the governor's men, there's obviously going to be a conflict of interest for Daryl, because he's going to have to make a choice between the group of survivors who he's trying to become a productive member of, and going back to the way he used to be, living in Merle's shadow and the like. That could be good, but don't spend 10 episodes doing it. Spend 2-3 episodes doing it. Oh, and Merle has to have some kind of apparatus, you know, like Army of Darkness. Give us a hook, give us a blade, give us anything on the end of his stump. All right, don't waste that opportunity either. All right, Stumpy there's gonna have some kind of zombie killing thing going on there. I think that's about it. Walking Dead, I find myself wanting to like you more than I like you. And you know what? I'm going to watch anyway. We know this, all right? There's nothing. I'm going to watch it anyway. But pick up the pace. Promise me you're going to pick up the pace. Please. Promise me you'll pick up the pace. Last but not least, and this is going to piss all of you off if you haven't heard about this yet. Unless you've been following the behind the scenes with Frank Darabont, who is, they call him the showrunner. I guess that means producer. How he got fired right before the season premiere, or right before they made this season. Why? Well, they published a letter why. Frank Darabont wanted to make an episode, and it would have been the best episode of Walking Dead yet, by far. Here's the premise. It's before all the events in Walking Dead, all right? And Frank Darabont called it Black Hawk Down with zombies. All right, now when he calls it that, I was like, okay, lame. Black Hawk Down was kind of lame, you know. It was eye candy, it was a good movie. But, hear me out. A group of soldiers helicopters into Atlanta, and they're told it's a routine mission. They're just going to reinforce a checkpoint, right? Just a couple extra guys there. The crowd's getting a little rowdy. So, of course, they helicopter in. They only have a few blocks to travel, and they realize, all right, it's hit the fan. You know, zombies everywhere. A couple of soldiers die early on, you know. Things start to fall apart. You know, the unit cohesion falls apart. The main character in this episode is, you know, you're just a soldier. And somewhere along the lines, he realizes he's got to kill his commanding officer. Whatever reason, makes mistakes, is turning into a monster. He's falling apart along with the rest of the world. There's kind of a little subplot. They finally make it. You know, now the unit has been broken down. There's only a few guys left. They make it to the checkpoint, and the soldiers manning the checkpoint panic and start machine gunning the crowd of non-zombies, just regular people trying to get out of the city, but they've quarantined the city. They won't let anybody out. Soldiers are just, you know, just teenagers, just kids, so they panic, they don't know what to do, they open fire on the crowd. In the crowd, you see an old man grab 2 girls and pull them off into an alley and saves them, and it ends up being Dale, Andrea, and Amy. And that's kind of like how they got together, how Dale was just this guy, a good Samaritan, who grabbed these 2 girls, saved them, and took on this fatherly role to them out of nowhere. That would have been kind of cool, something to do with Dale. Otherwise, Dale's killing me. And then eventually the zombies come, the horde. One of the things they do in the comics, I don't know if we're going to see this in the TV show, again, a spoiler, is anybody who dies gets up as a walker. It's not a virus. You don't have to be bitten. Anyone who dies gets up as a zombie. Take that what you will, act of God, next phase in human evolution. So I'm guessing in this episode, unless they change it, then everybody gets up as zombies, and the zombies overrun the checkpoint. They kill all the soldiers, and our main character is bitten. And his, with his dying breaths or whatever, he climbs into a tank, and he falls asleep and dies. And you just see the camera, do one of these, his eyes closing. And then a second later, you see him wake up again, and sitting right next to him is Rick in the tank, and he puts a bullet in his head. And it's the zombie from the first episode when Rick was riding on horseback into Atlanta, and the horde took over. They dragged him off his horse. He climbed into the tank, and there was a dead soldier in there who came back to life. Now that would have been fantastic, action-packed episode. All right, not a boring moment. And at the same time, Walking Dead is so worried about character development. What better way to do character development than to give every zombie in the show a backstory? Because what that does is it takes a zombie, a seemingly small, useless part of the show, right? The soldier and the zombie in episode 1, and it gives him a backstory. And then the audience is thinking, from every other episode, every zombie that gets an arrow in the head or a bullet in the head or gets bashed in the head with a baseball bat, every one of them is now a developed character, because people are going to be thinking, what's the backstory of that zombie? That would have done more for the character development in one episode than all of the Shane washing Carol's hands. What is that? I don't know. That would have been awesome. Why didn't they make it? Expensive. AMC, you have the best show on TV. Don't pinch pennies. You have a huge audience. They're loyal. I don't know why. I'm one of them. I don't know why. Your show, it sucks. It's like Sucks with Zombies, so I'll watch it because there's zombies in it. Zombie condition. I got a thing for zombies, all right? I'll watch Sucks with Zombies, but make me want to watch it. Make me glad. No, I want to watch it, period. Make me glad I watched it. For once, please make me glad I watched it. I'm sick and tired of finishing an episode and going, ah! Anyway, thanks for listening. Sorry for rambling. Sorry if I spoiled anything. I did warn you. TerrorKlowns, love the vlog. Keep them coming. Take it easy, guys.